Welcome to the Sypnotix. We have a very cool product today for your Steam Deck. Pun intended, because this thing actually cools down your Steam Deck. This is actually a cooling fan from a company called EasySMX. They sent us this to review, but everything I'm going to say in this video is based on my testing. They're not going to watch this video before it gets published. So, without further ado, let's see if this actually cools down our Steam Deck. You know, I've had the Steam Deck since launch, and I do love this device. I've never actually realized how hot this thing actually gets, because most of the time when I'm playing this, I have it docked nowadays, but even in handheld mode, a lot of the games I was playing up to this point didn't really like throttle it or didn't really push it to its limits like a lot of other people on the internet have seen and documented. Overheating has been, I guess, an issue for the Steam Deck. I have actually recently come across that with Spider-Man Miles Morales. I've been playing that a lot on the Steam Deck, and after a little bit of time, it does get a little bit warm. So when EasySMX actually messaged us and was like, hey, we got this fan, it's actually really compact, you want to take a look at it? I was like, okay. A little skeptical at first because I don't really like these attachment fans, to be honest. A lot of them are the little extended adjustable clips that you clip onto the bag and they take up the whole thing, and now I'm worried that it'll scratch the Steam Deck. But when they actually gave us this thing to look at, I was actually really impressed with the thoughtfulness that this design has. I know it's not like necessarily unique in the grand scope of things, but there's a lot of thoughtful things, and we'll take a look at that right now. First thing I already liked after unboxing this was this nano grip pad on the back. So it keeps your Steam Deck from being scratched with this. You have to peel it off at first. And it's a nice texture here that adds a little bit of grip to that back panel to stay into place. It's also really cool because this one actually doesn't clip on or attach on. You literally just put it in place and it stays in place. It's actually really sturdy. I love the design on this. On the downside to that, this fits absolutely perfectly with your naked Steam Deck. That means that if you have a case on, in my case, I did have a case that I purchased, a very thin case for the Steam Deck that I like keeping it protected. This will not clip onto it. Every time I use it, I have to take off that case. So that is a little bit of a downside trade-off. But it might be worth the trade-off because we'll talk about that in a second about what the benefits of this is. But actually going through the rest of the kind of setup, there really is no setup. You pull this out of the box and you plop it onto your Steam Deck and it just works. All you have to do is there's one button and one port. It has a USB-C port and one button that toggles between the 3 fan settings. So it's a very simple thing to use. So I actually put this to the test, actually a few different tests, with that troublemaking game, the Spider-Man Miles Morales, by running this first naked and taking the temperature of it after 30 minutes, and then also in the low settings, and then finally the high settings, and seeing if it actually affects the temperature. So let's actually check that out right now. All right, the Steam Deck has been running Spider-Man Miles Morales for probably like 30 minutes now. We're going to check the temperature. It says it's 35, 44 there. Let's check the back here. It's about 38. Yeah, 38, 35, 40. All right, now Miles Morales has been running for another maybe like 15-20 minutes. I'm going to take a temperature check. This is with it on the lowest fan setting. So as you can see here, it's on the first level. 41, 35, 35, 27 at the top there. 27 there, 41 around there, 36 there. All right, it's been running for a bit longer now on the high fan setting, so let's take a look at the temperature in the front. 32 right around the top there. Let's look at that. 29, 31 right on there. Now let's look at the back side. See the fan air blowing there. 32 there. 27. So I actually did see basically like a 10-degree difference with the fan on high compared to with the Steam Deck without it. That's actually a pretty big difference, and it's very noticeable with my fingers. Like I said before, I don't really feel like the Steam Deck heated so badly that it was unbearable, but it was noticeable and it was slightly uncomfortable after a certain amount of time playing. So at least with the fan on the highest setting, I actually see a significant difference. Not as much on the lowest setting, but on the highest setting, it was absolutely a game changer. So why would you necessarily need to cool down the Steam Deck, you would ask, or any type of PC or any electronic? Well, if the CPU is working too hard, it might throttle. You might lose FPS. Your FPS count might drop. And so when gaming, that is kind of important, especially with if a device has poor fan circulation, ventilation. This is something that it happens a lot. So with this device here, what this also does on top of the whole, feeling nicer in your hands, is it also supplies you with the potential for performance improvements on certain games. I have to admit, playing this thing, even docked without this fan, I still get some frame drops when I'm playing Spider-Man Miles Morales after maybe like an hour of gameplay. With the fan on nonstop, I didn't get any. I've done this test for multiple days now, so it's not a coincidence. It actually is because of the 10-degree temperature difference. I would assume that's why this is happening. So it actually does exactly what it's meant to do. I've been actually gaming longer using this fan because it feels more comfortable as well in my fingers and in my hands. And also, I think the performance does do better the longer you use it. So, the benefits definitely are there from performance and also your physical experience. However, there are some trade-offs, as you would expect when you're using a fan on anything. The Steam Deck's internal built-in fan kicks in pretty quickly, and it is relatively mundane. It's not that loud, to be honest. It really doesn't bother me. If you use this on its highest setting, like I recommend you to, and where you see the most difference in performance, you will hear it. You will definitely hear this fan. And it didn't bother me too much, but to some people, this is an annoyance. It is a lot louder than the Steam Deck fan. So that's something that is a trade-off if you use something like this. Another kind of like side quirk as a result of this design is that you do need to charge this thing up. And the thing is, it doesn't take long to charge, and it actually lasts a long time off one charge. But I did find kind of like a life hack. If you use the Steam Deck docked on any type of hub or anything like that, you could actually keep this on there and plug it into your dock so that it charges while you're using the Steam Deck on the dock. So not only is it charging that while being on the Steam Deck, but you're also benefiting from the cooling function while gaming docked. I think that's really cool. I like how it has that L-shaped connector that works really well with this. So ultimately, there really isn't a reason why, if you own a Steam Deck, where you shouldn't buy this. Like, I just can't think of why you wouldn't want this around. It is very affordable. It's such an inexpensive way to add additional performance and also, I guess, a physical touch experience, an improvement to that for this console for very little compromise. There really isn't a reason not to get this and just to have it in your arsenal. Once again, I'm Alex from the Sypnotix. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We've had a lot of cool Steam Deck accessories recently. Let me know what you guys think is essential to your Steam Deck, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
So the other day, I was on a Zoom call at work, and I just dropped everything I was saying, and I told them, subscribe.